Welcome back to the Secret Code podcast. Today we have Udit from Polar and StakeEasy on to talk about StakeEasy, a new auto-compounding liquid staking platform on Secret Network that's going to go live on mainnet on March 18th. So it's going to have its own DAO, lots of cool stuff coming. So Udit's going to come on and talk us all the way through it so we can get ready to have liquid staked assets on Secret Network.
For the community, by the community.
Udit, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure, dude. So yeah, I'm super excited for StakeEasy. I've been a huge fan of staking derivatives for quite some time. You can go back and some of my first episodes with Sandy and Cash Manny, actually back-to-back weeks, we were talking about it quite a bit. But first off, for people who are new to you, maybe they haven't heard of StakeEasy or Polar, why don't you first introduce us to you? Who is Udit?
Yeah, so initially, an year before, I think around January, I started exploring what cryptocurrency is. Initially as an investment, then I looked into how the development is going and what's the possible development that I can do. So my co-founder of StakeEasy, Amit, so he was already doing something similar in Algorand blockchain. So he introduced me to it, and then we discussed a few ideas on what we can do. Then we came across Secret Network and all the Cosmos ecosystem. Then we realized, okay, we see the potential in Secret Network and the privacy, because we see that this is something that's really important and no one else is doing on this scale. So we saw that, okay, we have been doing some EVM-based development, and we see that people often use hardhat, and there's no similar tool at the moment for Secret Network. So we started building it back in September last year, and we also got a grant from Secret Labs for implementing it. So we completed the grant by, I think, end of December, and we still have a few ideas that we are working on, and you'll see a lot of more features coming to Polar in a couple of months. And then we saw that, okay, we can maybe, we see that there are a lot of DApp, people building dApps on top of Secret Network. And we see that other Cosmos chains and Ethereum chains have a lot of protocols which are useful to the users so that they can shift their assets from centralized exchanges to decentralized exchanges. Like, for instance, there's a possibility of doing leverage trading, which is not yet available on most Cosmos chains. Then I saw that, okay, I used to stake my Akash token on a centralized exchange. Then I came to know that, okay, you can actually directly stake to validator, and this is what staking is. And this is essentially what the exchanges are doing, and they are taking their cut from it. Then I saw that, okay, there's another cool feature called liquid staking. So then me and Amit explored that possibility, and we came up with the solution, which is StakeEasy now.
Awesome. So yeah, and we'll definitely get into some of the technicalities of it, but a little bit about yourself. What's your background? I see that on the website, which I'll pull up here in a bit, you're the co-founder and developer for StakeEasy, but what'd you do before that? What got you into crypto?
Yeah, so I graduated from my college in 2020. Then after that, I joined a high-frequency trading firm back in India. So I used to code a lot in C++ and Python. Then it was something like which was really interesting, but was quite low level and was something that maybe some other hedge fund or some high frequency trading firm has already implemented. But since like these people are not collaborating as an open source or anything, they're basically like competing with each other. So it's not that what you're doing in an organization that can be taken further and can be used by someone else. Then I came across crypto. I saw that, okay, nearly every project in crypto is open source, and I see that what's the potential in doing that. And I saw that, okay, if I contribute to something, then maybe someone else is going to jump in and going to make it even further better. So this is something that excited me about crypto, and then I jumped into it. Then I came across Secret Network, and this whole thing started.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you here. And I've been following your team at Portal for quite a while. You guys have been doing some good work. So could you, before we get into more what StakeEasy is, I believe Portal's how you first got involved in Secret Network. So what drew you to Secret, and talk us through what Portal is?
Yeah. So initially, my co-founder used to work for basically building tools for Algorand blockchain. So he built a tool called Algo Builder, which is exactly what Polar does for Secret Network. And it was mostly inspired from hardhat and from Truffle. And when we, the guy he used to work for was one of the core developers of of the Cosmos SDK. Then he came across this through him, and he realized, okay, there's a complete SDK which you can use to build a whole blockchain, which is something that's not present in any other blockchain. Like if you go to Ethereum or any EVM-based chains, everyone is building it from the scratch itself, or like doing something. Like there's no standardized way of doing things that can be quick, easy, and reliable. Like an SDK is something that every developer dreams of having. And so we saw that, okay, here are a bunch of blockchains that we can explore. And like, I literally don't know the reason why specifically Amit chose Secret Network. But when I saw Secret Network, I saw that this thing is very unique, and it's something that has a lot more potential than any other blockchain out there. And there's a lot more decentralized application that can be built only due to the fact that it has privacy in it. So that drove us to it. And then we saw that the Secret Network and the Secret Labs is quite engaged with the community, and they really help the developers push the boundaries. And they I think since we started back in June, July, since that time we have been in close contact with them, and they have helped us a lot in the process. Like I remember that every other week I have some conversation with Ruben regarding some idea that I have and want to explore, and maybe he has some suggestions, or like he has some ideas that can implement it, and then we discuss it in technical depths, and then we realize, oh, this is how this can be done, and doing it other way has this things that needs to be taken care of. So that's something that really excites me.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's important for us to have in the ecosystem. So it's cool that you guys are doing it elsewhere, and I'm glad you guys found Secret Network and are helping out. Cool. So about StakeEasy. So Polar is developing a lot of things that obviously Cosmos SDK helps out a lot, but you guys are coming in, you're helping really with a lot of tooling and whatnot for the entire network, which thank you. We need it. We want to grow and expand and have millions and more than that users regularly. And we're building the apps for it, but we need to build up that user base, and it's hard to even build out these apps without proper tooling. But StakeEasy, the idea of this liquid staking asset, you guys are, I've seen some of your roadmaps and stuff. You're talking about governance tokens and DAO for it, lots of cool things. And you mentioned kind of in your very early speech about how it's important, and you found out through Simplex that you can have these liquid staking solutions. But simply put, why would a user care about liquid staking?
Yeah. So it started back in when I used to use Binance primarily for my investments. I saw that there was a feature that came along that you can stake your Ethereum and you can bond it, and you will get B Ethereum in return for it. And I saw that B Ethereum used to trade with Ethereum, and I used to think that why are they doing so? They can just say, okay, this much Ethereum you have staked, and that's it. Then why are they issuing B Ethereum, and why is there a trading pair? Then I realized, okay, that's what liquid staking is. So basically, the core idea is that in a proof of stake chain, users can stake their assets, the native token itself, which is SCRT token for the Secret Network, and they can delegate it to the validators, and validators can use that to process the transactions. So the more assets are staked with the validators, the more secure the network will be. But it comes with a problem that if you stake to a delegator, you don't have control over your funds anymore. So which means that you cannot use that same asset to provide liquidity to a DEX, or maybe to use it as a collateral in some decentralized application, which kind of fragments the whole liquidity, that some part of it is in the validator, some is in these DEXs. But liquid staking is a solution where the same asset can be used both at the same time. So what you get is that the user gets more yield, plus the network gets more secure, and the DEXs get more liquidity. So it's a win-win situation.
Sounds like the best of all worlds. So we will get more into those specifics. But first, we have a test for you, my friend, and that is the viewing key. Okay. So we try to, when you have guests come on, give them a question that they're not prepared for about other stuff going on in the Secret Network. And so, what is the first cross-chain NFT game that's on Secret Network? So it's on Secret, but it's coming to other chains as well. Is it A, the Anons, B, Chameleonville, C, Mystic Skulls, or D, Secret Rocks?
I know that Mystic Skulls is coming with a play-to-earn game soon, but I don't think that's cross-chain. So I guess it's B, Chameleonville.
That is correct. Absolutely, my friend. Chameleonville is really cool. They just had their original mint a couple days ago. Yeah, I guess Saturday, a couple days ago, and then they're coming to Solana, Luna, Ethereum. So it's going to be quite an event. I'm happy because I saw some of the old secret dogs, which you get to keep as pets in there. But shout out to Chameleonville, awesome mint experience, and excited for the cross-chain game coming. All right, back to StakeEasy. Now, so you're talking about the best of both worlds, where you have this token that's securing the network and also earning the inflation, but you also have a representative token that you could then use to provide liquidity and dexes and whatnot. Now, one thing I don't think you've touched on is auto compounding. Can you talk to me through auto compounding before we get into more of the specifics?
Yeah, definitely. So auto compounding is that when you stake to validator, the annual interest you're getting is basically simple interest. So roughly it's 24.5% on Secret Network, which means that when you stake your tokens, you get some rewards generated over time. Like you can claim that them even every day or maybe every week, you can choose the frequency. So if you want to compound that interest, what you do is that, let's say you want to compound it every day. Every day you do a transaction to transfer those rewards from the validator to your wallet, and then again do another transaction to transfer them, to stake them, to stake these rewards to the validator. So you're doing 2 transactions every day to compound them every day. So that's how you can increase your annual yield to 27 point something percentage if you compound it every day. So what we are doing at StakeEasy is that if you deposit to us, you will just do 1 transaction of staking. After that, we ourselves are compounding that whole pool of StakeEasy token, secret tokens staked through StakeEasy every 8 hours. So every 8 hours, we are doing 2 transactions for all of the users combined. So what happens is that no user has to manually go in their Kepler wallet and has to do these 2 transactions every time. So they are saving on the gas fees, they are saving on the effort in doing so. Plus, they are getting the auto compounding feature without doing anything.
Awesome. You're talking about staking with you guys. Can you do this with tokens that are already staked?
That's one of the issues right now that we are trying to resolve. So if you already have your token staked with some validator, you need to unstake those to stake through StakeEasy. But we have found somehow a roundabout solution to this, is that we have implemented one mechanism where we have taken a snapshot of every validator, that we see that, okay, this much amount has been staked by each wallet on these validators. So what we'll announce soon is that if you have already staked your secret and you unstake it and then you stake it through StakeEasy, we'll identify the wallet, we'll identify the amount, and we will compensate you in our governance token for those 21 days reward period. So essentially is that you are not losing out on those 21 days rewards that if you're
That is okay. That is pretty cool. Thanks. So what he's saying about for the auto compounding is that now you won't have to go claim your rewards, restake your rewards, have gas fees, figure it out, like use a calculator, figure out, I guess if I do it every 4 days or whatnot, it's most efficient. Like it just takes care of everything for you. And so then as there are only so many of these tokens that exist, and then more and more get auto compounded, the ratio from the derivative token, your SE secret as it's called, to the actual secret staked changes over time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So eventually your SE secret is worth more and more secret. Then as you claim, you get more than a 1-to-1 ratio back.
Yeah, so the ratio changes when the rewards are being generated. So initially it starts with 1:1 ratio, and as the rewards are being generated, let's say 2% amount of the rewards have been generated so far. So the ratio will become 1:1.02, and this will keep on growing over time as the rewards are generated. And so this was we thought about trying to do a 1:1 ratio, but if you take the auto compounding feature into the picture with liquid staking, the best solution is to do it, not to do it 1:1 ratio. But this ratio is growing very, very small. Like it'll grow by 24% after an year. So you can imagine every day it's growing.
And that's if people weren't withdrawing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pull up your guys' website here real quick. So this is StakeEasy.finance. You can see the app's coming soon. If you want to check them out, they've talked about their compounding APY, which you just talked about, their auto compounding. You can stake and forget, promote decentralization. Are you guys going to be able to have the holders of the SE secret tokens vote on secret governance proposals?
Yeah, that's one of the features. Like for the version 1, there won't be a direct, like, we're thinking about doing that through a DAO. But what our long term plan is doing is, which will be part of the version 2, is to have private governance voting accessible to all the SE secret token holders. Which means that, let's say we have 10 users and each of them have staked 100 secret through StakeEasy. So each of them have SE secret tokens, which have the value of 100 secret token each. So let's say they want to vote on some proposal and they don't want to make their vote public. What they can do is that, since the SE secret, the liquid token, is a SNP20 token, whatever vote they give through that token will be private. And we combine all those votes into one vote, and then the DAO votes to the network itself. So the network only knows that, okay, let's say if 60% of votes are yes, 40% are no. They don't know which out of these 10 people has voted yes or voted no. So that feature can only be implemented when you have partial voting for tokens, which means that, let's say I am a holder of 100 secret tokens. I want to say that, okay, I say yes for 60 of my tokens and no for 40 of my tokens, which sounds absurd for an individual, but it sounds a lot more practical if those tokens are held by an organization. And the organization says, okay, all of our members can vote, and we combine these votes and then we vote through this organization's wallet. And that's what we'll be doing through the StakeEasy DAO, that all the holders of these tokens can vote, and they can choose to vote privately, and these votes will be then further transferred to the network.
Awesome. Well, which or how many or which validators will StakeEasy platform be supporting?
So we have decided to diversify into 10 validators at a time. So these 10 validators initially will be chosen by our team itself. So this process will be manual for initial couple of months, and then later it will be shifted to the StakeEasy DAO slowly. And over time, what will happen is that ultimately the governance DAO itself can take decision on how many validators will be there in the set, or which validators to choose, which validators not to choose. So this is a process which will be improved over time every couple of months.
Okay, very cool. And cool. So what is your guys' long-term vision for StakeEasy? How big can it grow and scale? Are you guys planning on adding the StakeEasy platform and governance to other chains later on?
Yeah, so what our end term goal is to kind of have this private voting feature be available to all of the Cosmos chains. So for that to be implemented, we will utilize the interchain accounts feature of IBC, which will be coming, I think, in a couple of months for the Cosmos SDK. So once that is up and the Secret Network implements the Cosmos 1.0, which will let any smart contract developer to access IBC through the contracts itself. And using these two features, what we'll implement is that any native token holder of a Cosmos chain, let's say if anyone holds any Luna, so they can take the Luna and bridge it over through IBC to Secret Network and stake to StakeEasy. So this whole process will be completely private. So basically you are taking these privacy features, then not just for the Secret Network itself, but for other Cosmos chains also. So other Cosmos chains can actually directly and easily access the privacy features, not just for staking, but also for the governance. And even further, long-term plan is to have some sort of uh, voting hub for the whole of Cosmos, where any DeFi protocol or any protocol on any Cosmos chain can come and say, okay, this is the address of my token. I want to host a voting where users can have the option to choose to vote privately. And we'll have the interface, like if anyone is familiar about snapshot.org on Ethereum, that platform is quite popular with any DeFi app on Ethereum, just because of the fact that it's quite easy to use and it's permissionless, and it's easy for the developers of the protocol to host a proposal, and it's easy for their holders to vote. So our ultimate is to do that. Ultimate aim is to do that.
That's fantastic. So for some of what we're building for the next version of Secret Swap, we've been making the rounds and talking to a lot of the different L1s in the Cosmos ecosystem. And one thing that keeps getting brought up to me is a lot of people are jealous or like, man, the way that you guys have private governance is really cool. Although the politics, the drama behind it, heck, what we see going on right now with Juno Prop 16, like a lot of people wish they could vote privately. So if that's a way that we could leverage the privacy that Secret Network offers and bring it to the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem, that would be absolutely fantastic. So what a wonderful use case to showcase as we try to interoperate with the rest of the ecosystem. So as far as Secret Network goes, this is a great next step. What's your vision for the whole network? Where do you see it going? What would you like to see get built out?
I guess over longer run, what I want to see is that Secret Network dApps make more use of the IBC features, so that whatever privacy features the Secret Network itself is having, other chains can have access to the same. Like maybe other chains can have access to Silk, and like privacy is something that everyone needs. And if we are able to transfer that over to the other Cosmos chains, then this is something, I guess, which will make us unstoppable.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. And we really need to get that network update that's going to allow for token transfers through IBC. I know we haven't implemented it yet. Luna hasn't implemented it yet. And I think that both of us have big plans for what it will entail. So it's going to happen. Scaling is going to happen. Inter-blockchain calls are going to happen. That's a bit further down the road, but it's an exciting time to be a part of it. dApps are coming to life, and the next stages are going to be fantastic. And then for more StakeEasy specific, how can users get more involved? What's your guys' launch date looking like? Is it still March 18th?
Yes, it's still March 18th.
Awesome.
But don't know what will happen tomorrow. So, and people get. So what we do is that on our Twitter handle, we often try to organize some contests for the users to participate. Like initially, I think the first contest was simply just explain to me what staking derivative is in your own best explanation in one line, and whoever has the best explanation will give them some kind of prize. So that's something I see, that if we are doing frequent contests like these, the community itself is going to be more familiar with the concept, because like if 10 people are explaining the same concept, then someone can understand it even much better. And you can organize these contests, and people will try to add value to it, and other people can take value from that. So it's something that helps the whole ecosystem. Other than that, we have plans to have a grant program and have some RFPs in mind. So we have 3 or 4 ideas of what can be built on top of StakeEasy. Because like you have this liquid token that you can use, where you say, okay, if anyone deposits to, let's say, a DAO, where a DAO does something and holds some secret tokens of all of the users. So if, let's say, in that mechanism, there's a lock-in period of these secret tokens. Like it could be a, let's say, no-loss lottery mechanism where like user lock in their secret, and by the end of the week, some random lucky winners are chosen and they are given some reward. They can choose to like stake those tokens for 1 week. So you can stake for 1 week because you have a liquid token, which you can immediately swap to get it unstaked, right? If you have that, you can build some play-to-earn games where you say, okay, everyone deposits their secret tokens, and whoever wins at the end of the week will get all the staking rewards. So it's something that I think can only be built if you have a liquid token. So these are the ideas we have in mind. So we'll launch our grants program, I think, a month after the mainnet launch. So anyone who has some developer experience and wants to contribute can apply, and we'll coordinate with them.
Dude, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm glad you guys have those long-term plans set up. Good to see. Now, how can people get more involved? So how can people get more involved with Polar? And I know StakeEasy is one great project you guys are doing, but all the tooling and whatnot, if we have devs that are listening and they want to get more involved or find a team that they could take a step with, where can people find you and reach out directly?
Yeah, so I think I can first explain what Polar is so that user have much better idea of it. So Polar is what Hardit is trying to do for Ethereum, which in simple terms means that when you are a contract developer, there are a lot of things that have to be done repeatedly. Let's say you develop a smart contract, and obviously first time you implement it, there are going to be some bugs in compilation. Then you fix those compilation bugs. Then you actually get the binary which you can deploy to the network, and then interact with it to test it out, like if everything is working fine or not. If something is not working fine, then you again change some things and then try this out to see if it works. So basically, the whole debugging process let forces you to do this compilation step, creating the binary, compressing the binary, and then deploying to the test net and then interacting with it. So these are the things that are more than 90% the same each time, right? So if the thing is the same 90% of the time, 90% of things are the same, you can automate them if you have a well-defined standard framework for doing so, right? So that's what exactly what Polar is trying to do, is from the very start of building your own project, like when you clone a Git repository or you initiate the repository, then you want to have all these boilerplate files that you copy from someplace, right? We have those templates where you just say, okay, Polar initialize, and you specify this template I want.
Yeah.
In just one command, you can have the whole boilerplate running, which you can immediately compile and have a binary. Then you just have to focus on the logic and not on the process. So that's what Polar is trying to achieve. And it's at a stage where you can have the boilerplate, you can have the quick compilation and compression. You can even write some scripts saying that, okay, these are the steps that must be followed to build this binary and to deploy it and then to initialize it. Or you can even use these scripts to write some interaction test. So which essentially is the integration test of the whole smart contract mechanism. Let's say you have 2 or 3 smart contracts that somehow interact with each other and also interact with the users. You can specify, let's say you have a scenario in mind where you say there are 3 users, and for user A does this, user B does this, user C does this. Then if the output of this whole state of smart contract is this value, then I can say, okay, it's working fine. So this whole system you can implement as a script, and you can run it every time you make some change to make sure that, okay, this thing is working fine or not. So it can be actually be extended to a CI/CD where you can just write some tests, and whenever you deploy or make change, it can again run these tests to say, okay, if this thing is working fine or not. And how people can contribute and help is, we already, so the whole code is open source on github.com/arufa-research. And so there's a repository called Polar. You can just go through it, open some issues if you face any. You can also discuss with us on the Secret Discord itself. We have specific channel for Polar where you can report anything, or if you have any questions, you can ask, and I'll try to answer those.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, man. We're getting a question. Can we expect to see it on some of the dexes?
Yeah, so initially we have a plan to implement, to have this community farming event, which will run for a couple of months after the mainnet launch, which is basically saying that if anyone is interested in being the early investor of the protocol itself, what they do is that when you stake your tokens, your secret tokens, to get SE secret, you can choose to swap your staking rewards with our governance token. So that way you will get to be the early adopters of the protocol, and we will have some secret to bootstrap these liquidity on the DEXs. So after those 2 months are over, I think we'll have enough secret in our treasury that we can use to bootstrap the liquidity on DEXs like Secret Swap, Sienna Swap, and Button Swap.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And you're talking about how you're trying to get people involved, explaining what their versions of staking derivatives are. Well, I have a background as a table games dealer, so I always love talking about bridges or duplex and whatnot. And that, like, hey, I mean, it's the same to me. Put $5 on the table, I give you a $5 chip, and that's a representation. But this time, that you're giving somebody a $5 that's actually already invested. You're giving them a banknote for what's already earning interest, and they're changing that in for a $5 slip, and that's still earning money. So the $5 is just worth more and more money, but you can still use it while you play. So it's pretty cool. Love the idea. Love that you guys are building it out. It's almost like, how familiar are you with grip tape?
Yeah, grip tape. Actually, I have been in constant conversations with Sandy.
Cool.
I actually had some ideas that we are still exploring, that how we can integrate grip tape with Polar. Because you see that Polar is trying to simplify the smart contract building process.
Yeah.
And grip tape is simplifying the front-end development process. So these are the 2 components of a DApp, right? So if a user has a set of mechanism or a proper guide on how to use these 2 things combined, then the whole process of building the DApp gets simplified, right? So we have some ideas in mind that we'll be implementing in the course of coming couple of months, that we'll have some quick start guides on how to use these 2 combined. We'll also implement some features which can make Polar more compatible with GripTape over time.
Love it. Yeah. So we were talking about Cosmos SDK being awesome, where it's like a nice starter design kit for an entire L1. But now, if you guys are building an SDK for the back end, and GripTape has an SDK for the front end, these apps are going to build themselves.
Yeah.
Love it, dude. That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much. This has been awesome content. I'm really excited for you guys' launch in a couple days. How can people get a hold of you directly to ask you more questions? Do you have your own Twitter? I've linked the StakeEasy Twitter. But do you have Twitter, Telegram, Discord?
So my own personal Twitter is just for shit posting content. So you can DM me there, but we have our own Discord server for the StakeEasy, where you can come and post anything, ask any questions. I'll try to answer those there. We also have the Telegram for StakeEasy. So yeah, you can choose either to DM me directly or to DM to the StakeEasy Twitter account, or you can come to our Discord and ask there. So anyway you feel comfortable, you can contact.
Awesome. Then yeah, I will be dropping the link to the Discord, a permanent link to the Discord here in the YouTube comment, the YouTube section, comments, description, something like that. But Udit, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm excited for StakeEasy. We'll be ready for it on March 18th, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.